All right, so what we want to do is get this in the, use the Gauss-Jordan method. So there's ones down the diagonal and everything else is zeros. So the first thing that I see that I could do with row 2 is I could add a -2 of row 1, because -2 times 1, -2. Don't care about anything else, but -2 plus 2 will turn that into a 0, and that's what I want. So I got that. Then I can see I want this as 0, so why not take -1 of row 1, and that would take -1 times 1, which would be -1, add to this. I got my 0, so that looks good. Now I'm kind of looking at this row 2, and I could see that I could multiply it by, you basically want to divide everything by -4, okay, or multiply by -1/4. And the problem is it won't take a fraction. So I have to put that as a decimal. So if I multiply row 2 by -0.25, or basically that means I'm dividing everything by -4, then I get my 1 right there. All right, so I could take now I could add -3 of row 2 to row 3. Okay, so think about that. Why am I going to do that? -3 times this 1 is -3 plus that 3 is going to give me 0. So that worked out nicely. Now I can see I'm pretty much home free with solving for, if this is x, y, z, that I can take row 3 and I can multiply it times -2, because -2 times -0.5 would give me a 1. And now I see my answer is z is a -19. All right, continuing right along. Now I think I could take, let's see. I'm looking at this 1.5 and I want to turn that into a 0. So what I could do is I could add row 3, because I don't want it to mess with these other values. I could take row 3 and multiply it times -1.5. So that'll be -1. Those will be zeros, right? -1.5, and then add it to this row. Aha, I got my 0 there. So that's nice. And getting a lot closer. All I have left is this 3 and 4. I need to become zeros. So I could actually add -4 times row 3. So that'd be 0, 0. This would be -4 plus this 4 to make that a 0. And then finally, I could take row 2 times I don't know what happened there, times -3. So row 2 times -3 plus this 3 is going to turn that into a 0. And now I'm done. I have my 1s down the diagonal. Everything else is 0. So this means x is -4, y is 26, and z is -19.